Television history has some fascinating turning points, but here's one that'll blow your mind. Seinfeld, arguably the most influential sitcom ever made, was initially rejected by NBC executives for being too New York, too Jewish.
That's such an incredible detail about the show's origins. The fact that it went from nearly being rejected to becoming the highest-rated sitcom of the 1990s really shows how wrong initial impressions can be.
You know what's even more fascinating? The pilot, then called The Seinfeld Chronicles, tested so poorly with audiences that NBC buried it in a summer time slot. But something remarkable happened. A small but devoted audience found it and connected with its unique approach to comedy.
Let me add some context to that. By the show's final season in 1998, it was drawing an average of 38 million viewers per episode. That's absolutely unheard of in today's fragmented television landscape.
The show's success really came from breaking every rule in the sitcom playbook. Larry David's famous no hugging, no learning philosophy meant these characters never grew or evolved. They just kept making the same mistakes over and over, which was revolutionary for television at the time.
That's such an interesting point about the character development, or lack thereof. While other shows were teaching life lessons, Seinfeld gave us 4 fundamentally selfish people who never apologized for who they were.
Speaking of those characters, let's talk about how perfectly cast this show was. Jason Alexander as George Costanza, who was essentially playing Larry David, brought such depth to what could have been just a pathetic character. The way he could make George's neuroses both hilarious and somehow relatable was pure genius.
And Julia Louis-Dreyfus as Elaine completely transformed what a female character could be in a sitcom, right? She wasn't just the girl. She was just as flawed and funny as any of the male characters.
Exactly. And Michael Richards as Kramer. His physical comedy was on another level entirely. Did you know he would never rehearse his entrances? He wanted them to feel spontaneous every time, and that commitment to authenticity showed in every scene.
You know what's fascinating about the show's impact? It actually changed the way we talk. Terms like double-dipping, close talker, and regifter weren't common phrases before Seinfeld introduced them.
The cultural impact goes even deeper than that. The show averaged 76.3 million viewers for its finale. That's nearly a third of the entire US population at the time. And while the finale was controversial, it perfectly embodied the show's commitment to subverting expectations.
That reminds me, the show's influence on modern comedy is really remarkable. So many shows today follow that model of morally questionable characters getting into awkward situations.
Well, look at shows like It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, or Curb Your Enthusiasm. They're direct descendants of Seinfeld's DNA. Larry David basically took the George character, who was based on him, and built an entire new show around that personality type.
That's such an interesting evolution of the format. And now, through streaming platforms, new generations are discovering the show and finding that its core observations about human nature are still relevant.
You're right. While some of the technological aspects might be dated, the social dynamics and human behavior they explore are timeless. The show wasn't really about nothing. It was about everything that makes us human.
Well, that's exactly why it maintains such cultural relevance. the awkwardness of dating, the unwritten rules of society, the little white lies we tell. These things haven't changed.
And here's what's truly remarkable. They maintained this level of quality over 9 seasons, producing 180 episodes total. Most shows start to decline after a few years, but Seinfeld kept delivering fresh ideas right until the end.
That consistency is even more impressive when you consider they were doing 22 to 24 episodes per season, not the 8 to 10 that's common for premium shows today.
Looking back, it really was lightning in a bottle. The perfect combination of talent, timing, and creative freedom. Despite those initial doubts, it became universally relatable while never losing its specific point of view. That's the mark of truly great comedy.
And that's why, even decades later, we're still talking about a show that was supposedly about nothing. Hey, Vic, these pretzels are making me thirsty.
No, sorry, Sal. That's no good.